right, before we get into the heavy topic of transformation in the advertising industry, this ad from the Basel floor cleaner brand, it caught our eye recently. Now, in an age of empty brand promises, this ad that we're about to show you defines the line faith in your product.
I'm Senior Brand Manager for Bissell Canada, and I 100% stand behind this product.
Now, while the grimace factor is high, we think it serves as a terrific brand testimonial. Let us know what you think on our Facebook page. And the ever-popular annual Really Awesome Gaming Expo, or RAGE for short, taking place at the Coca-Cola Dome here in Johannesburg. Now, this year saw more than 30,000 people passing through over the course of a weekend to watch, play and dress up as their favorite virtual characters. The organizers estimate that something in the region of 96 terabytes of data was used over a 3-day period. Now, one of the big issues still plaguing the advertising industry is transformation. Too few creative operatives, black-owned agencies, possibly relying heavily on public sector business only. And brands themselves, are they putting enough pressure on agencies to change? All of that is going to be discussed at a major round table in a couple of weeks' time. I'll be chairing the discussion, and I want to preview it now with Ivan Maroki, who is chairman of the Brand Council of South Africa. It's staging the event. Ivan, a warm welcome to you. Why are we still having this transformation debate years after a charter was signed?
Well, because there are too many individual opinions. There are discussions that are happening separately. Sometimes you hear on radio programs or somebody writing in about the state of transformation. And we thought it would be great, I think, to have a platform, public platform, where different stakeholders will be on there. And we can have absolutely a heated conversation, if I can put it that way, obviously shared by yours truly.
Let me say this to you, though, as a starting point. It's an indictment on your industry that after so many years you haven't got this right.
I've got my own personal opinions about whether we've got it right or not. And that's why the whole point about putting it in a public debate, because there might be some people who might have a separate view, and we want to challenge all those views. Personally, I think the rate has been way too slow, considering what the industry is about. We are supposed to be at the cusp of social, economic trends. And if we are not being reflected in terms of transformation, that doesn't say much.
Well, let me ask you this then. In your opinion, and I acknowledge that there are going to be lots of other opinions at this particular colloquium, what is your definition then of transformation? What would you mean, or what would you achieve by getting it right? What does getting it right mean?
We have to believe in diversity makes a better creative product.
Is it ownership percentages? Is it the number of black people who are sitting in the creative studio? What is it?
It's all the above. But the key thing is the reason for transformation. I think there's been too much conversation about transformation versus commercial success, which for me is where the core of the problem is. And that's why there's so much inertia amongst other people in terms of being dedicated to it.
What are you saying? You can't achieve commercial success if there is transformation? No, is that the argument?
No, the argument normally
that's what brands are saying.
Well, normally the argument is taken that for you to invest in transformation, it means it might not necessarily translate into commercial success.
You would have to compromise.
You've got to compromise. You've got to choose between the two. And for me personally, I think that's what the core of the problem is. Because for me, I think you get transformation right being the operative word. You get it right. Absolutely, it will make our product better, and it will absolutely lead to commercial success. So it will be quite interesting to get the viewpoints from clients, because clients, at the end of the day, is about commercial success. So what I've just said, it'll be interesting to get what client says, also what agency says, but even more importantly, why is there so much inertia with agencies? Are there some things that are within our control or outside our control? And I believe it's everything in between.
Try and answer that question yourself about the inertia. Is there a sense that the industry itself has just become complacent and lazy?
I think it's a combination of inertia and the impact of the squeeze of the margins also has got a direct impact in terms of making transformation and reality and everything in between. But I think you'll be not fair just to say it's just one side or the other. I think it's everything in between. But importantly, I think to your point is, I think we can be far much more committed to it than I'm seeing in the industry.
Fair enough. Ivan Maroki, let me put this to you, though, that you're on a hiding to nothing as far as this issue is concerned. The reality is that advertising or brand building these days is not a particularly exciting career for people, and it's not well paid, and there's always the allegation that agencies are simply sweatshops.
I mentioned earlier on about the issue of margins being tied on agencies. It's absolutely making it difficult for somebody who's gone and studied for about 3 years, has got the certificate, and they've got to come in there, just like many creative agencies, industries, where you've got to go in there and immediately you're not making a decent living. You've got to pay, you've basically got to pay your school fees. And that's on one side. On the other side, it still goes back to, when I speak to young people that I mentor, half of them talk about even an issue about the cultural aspect of it, that they don't find agencies to be culturally, accepting in terms of them. I mean, you find some kids who just come in from Soweto and has got all this raw talent, and they get in there and they'll say that it feels so foreign, and there is no commitment or effort to be made by agencies to welcome them. So
all of that's going to be aired at this debate. Mags on Media is going to be there filming it. We'll bring you the highlights on that.
And you can go to admin at brandcouncilsa.org for more details.
Ivan Maroki, thank you very much indeed. Good luck. I hope there's some fireworks on the day. Now, coming up on the programme, we'll go behind the scenes of a new ad that encourages consumers to live with heart, and a brutally honest view on advertising from a well-known global comedian.
We know the product is going to stink. We know that. Because we live in the world and we know that everything stinks.